You already know what it is. Listen, I've got about 13 minutes before the school ends. It's at a pep rally right now, but I wanted to set up a tank because I actually have a couple of students, man, that are wanting to take care of tanks this year, which I've been waiting to see, and we're going to see how responsible they are. Because I also, okay, I will, Felicia, because I also have some teachers who are wanting tanks in their classroom, and they are new teachers, so they must have heard about it or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Also have a game. Forgot to post that we are now 3-1. We lost our last game on Tuesday to some pretty good volleyball players. So we're trying to get that back today, and then after that we have 3 more games. So I gotta go. But I'm gonna show this real quick so that the teachers can see it, students can see it. They know how to set it up because it works with any size tank. So here we go. All right. I just had the tank that I was gonna use, which is gonna make this a little longer than what I thought. So we're just gonna get this tank. Oh. Right. Felicia, what let's see. I don't know what the tag's really showing. I'll flip it like this. And hopefully I get some water in this bad boy. Let's just start going. No, that has this black on it. I guess this is just gonna be for feeder fishing. I don't know. All right. So anyway, we'll just use this. Felicia, what email did you send it to? My FishyBiz or the other one? All right. So first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and get some water in it. It's one of the more important things because you got to get the water in it in order to do it like this before you put your chemicals in it. So I don't have a hose. Okay, so scratch. Am I going to be able to even do this? All right, I had another piece of hose. Where did it go? Let's see. All right, so this is probably going to take longer than I thought. Maybe. Let's see. We'll do that. And then we'll do this. Can I do this? Oh, okay. So we'll just do this. We'll go here. And then we'll go here. This will actually work. Take this off. I should have made this a lot. Let's see if this works. Will it go through there or not? Is it going through? Okay, it is. Alright, so I can move it over here. And it's not going to stay. So maybe we can do this. Dump it. That's not going to help. Alright, let's try to do this best as. That's not going to do it. Alright, so I am now putting water in it. And we're going to try to see if we can handle this the best I can to keep it going. And I am trying to finagle this water going in here and try to jerry rig it up to see if it will stay. All right, so here's where I'm at so far. All right, I always think first thing first is you got to really kind of fill up the tank just to make sure you don't have any leaks or whatnot. Okay. You also want to make sure that you rinse out the tank prior to get all the dust and debris off of there first. These tanks have been sitting up for a little minute, so they have a little dust. I'm gonna just take my little scrub brush here and try to get some of this dust off. All right. Now, once it is filled, you'll look for leaks. And of course, if there's any leaks, then you have to go for another tank. Or if it's a high leak, you can possibly still use it, depending on how high the leak is. And you just will probably have to lower your amount of animals that you put in here, because you won't have the full range of the tank. But when you are cleaning your tank, you want to make sure that you are not using any chemicals, okay? The best thing that I've heard that you can use is possibly vinegar, but you don't want to use any soap product, chemical product, bleach, anything like that, right? Because you'll end up having suds in the tank, and quite possibly when you fill up that tank, those suds can still bubble up later on down the road into your tank. So you don't want that. All right. This one seems like it'd be a better fit. Let's see if we can do that. All right. So as this tank is filling up, I'll just tell you the rest of the processes before we get done here. And that's not gonna fit. Oh, that's garbage. All right, that will fit. And it'll fit on here, but it won't fit on there. So we're just gonna have to go back to what we're working with it. It's just the next thing that you're going to have to do is chlorinate your water, or dechlorinate your water actually, with your dechlorinators. So once you get it filled up, you're going to dechlorinate it with your water, with your water conditioner, right? So similar to the same ones, of course, that I put in, or not similar, but exactly. I use Fritz Complete and I use Fritz 7. One is live bacteria and the other is the water conditioner that removes the chlorine, chloramine. I've been doing this and been able to introduce fish into it right after I put that in there. And now they are saying that you kind of need to wait, because these things supposedly counteract. One kills bacteria that you need while you're putting the bacteria in that you need. So I usually gonna kind of wait, since this is in the classroom and I do not have any lids on the tanks. Kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of bacteria in the room already from just a lot of people being in the room. Plus, I've left like some coffee overnight without a lid on it and found stuff that could possibly be bacteria in the cup. So I do believe that I'll get bacteria no matter what, but I have not had any deaths since I've done both of these, and I've been doing both of these for last few years. So ever since you were able to come up with some chemicals for you to introduce fish into your tank immediately. When you go to like Aquashella and a lot of these different fish festivals, and the people there have to set up their tanks immediately, they usually use some instant dechlorinator, and usually the fish are fine. You're able to introduce the fish in perfectly, no problem. What's up, Casual? Right, I know. What's up with it? What up, Paul? Paul's Mafia. What's cracking, everybody? Let's see, Felicia. Which email did you send it to if you're still on there? All right, because we still got to talk to you. Um, this is filling up. I put the conditioner in already, and technically that might be it. If you're doing decorations of some sort, you want to give them a good rinse. Again, no soap, no bleach, no chemicals like that. And you'll be able to rinse those off and put them in. If you're doing rocks as your substrate, you're going to want to rinse those rocks off, put them in a bucket, fill it up to get all of that, the debris that comes off of the rocks that usually floats up to the top instead of getting it out of your tank later. Okay. Now, I have the 55 gallon, which Diamond, the Starry Night, Paratilapia polene is in. Then I have set up the 40 gallon, which I will be probably putting more of the live bearers in. And then I just set this up because I had more room. I'm not sure what I'll put in here. It could be a place maybe for cherry shrimp or something like that, which is kind of a big tank for cherry shrimp and whatnot. But it could be more some ancillary aquatic animals. I don't know if I want to do cherry shrimp, if I want to do dwarf frogs, those dwarf African frogs or something like that. Something different for the students to see. So they'll be able to see, a bigger fish that has to usually probably stay by itself unless there's a fish that's its size in there with it. But if that happens, you're going to need the tank space. They always wonder why there's no friend for Diamond. Diamond usually kills her friends. She's an aggressive fish, right? They love going up to the tank, putting their finger up to the tank and watching her try to bite their fingers. So that should answer that question. Next, in the 40 gallon, they'll be able to see probably some mollies, some swordtails, some platies, some guppies, and seeing how a community tank with a bunch of different colorful, smaller fish will be able to interact together in the 40 gallon. And then over here, like I said, maybe could be possibly an oddball tank where I can maybe have some African dwarf frogs, or maybe I can do some cherry shrimp, or I could take a poll, see what people want to do, and what will go together in there. So really, there's not much to it. I just wanted to make sure I got a video up so that teachers who want to kind of know a little bit about the hobby, where you think it's like super hard, it's really not that hard. You just got to kind of take care of just got to know how to do it, right? Because once you know how to do it, then it's super fun. It's no fun when you don't know how to do it and something dies, and then in like 2 days, 3 days, or a week, and you're like, I'm never doing this again. I want students to be able to learn how to take care of these animals and end up, taking these tanks home. Just got my first frog. I've been in the house quite a while. I'm not disappointed with said frog. Right. So I've had dwarf frogs before, or African aquatic frogs before. They don't do too much. They're cool because they're different. I've had crawfish that used to escape and be all around the room. I had two actually huge ones. Did not know that they were that much of an escape artist, and I would always have to look in the room, and I would have to get here early, close the door, make sure I didn't hear anything or there was no sound outside, and I would have to listen for them clawing. And I found one like in the corner all the way over here in this side of the room. I found one behind the file cabinet in the front of the room. Like, these things are just mobbing up out of here. And I'm like, geez, you guys. Like every morning. So you really got to, know what you're doing. Know what aquatic animal you are getting. Research it, look it up, see if it's an escape artist, and see what you exactly have to do and need, right? So again, any accessories that you want to put in there, you would go ahead and rinse them off. Substrate will rinse it off. You put it in there, and you go ahead and put the conditioner in there, and then essentially your tank is ready for your inhabitant of animals, right? Next thing is when it comes to the animals, and somebody asked me, does he eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? No, he does not. He eats once every other day. All right. And they're like, but don't they always look hungry? I was like, they possibly always look hungry, but if you put something in there, they're sure enough going to eat it. But that's number one problem with fish death. They eat until they die because you continue feeding it because it looks hungry. Does not eat like humans, does not go breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thought I sprung a leak, but that's just off of the faucet here. And I'm going to leave that there since that's pretty much almost full there. And usually I top it off with another drop or two of the conditioner, but that's going to be it for there. Remember, I did have a air pump set up already because I knew I was going to set up another tank. I have a lot of line here left, so what I'm going to do is I am going to probably cut this here, get this excess line off so that the air doesn't have too far to push for the sponge filter. So I'm going to grab my scissors. Cut a little of this airline off. Sponge filter should stop right about there, but I'm gonna give it here. All right, put that up. May need some more line at some point in time. And then I'm going to put my filter in. Where did I put the sponge filter? It's probably in, oh, I got the fancy one. Let's see how this one, this one still really rocks. Fancy's probably more old than it is fancy, but it's a different type of sponge filter to show the students. Oh, damn it. So you guys remember these double filters here, right? Supposedly stick to the back of the glass. Anything with suction cups doesn't do the best sticking. Get rid of that. Has this little clear tube here, and the water or the air will come up through here, push out, and it'll filter through these two sponge filters here. Looks like the students are out. And it looks like it could be a fight. And it is. And they're running. All right, I got a call coming in. But once I put the sponge filter in here, I'm going to put this air hose, attach it to the top here. And I've got to get to this game because we are going downtown. So wish me luck. I'm gonna leave this up, and once I plug in my air, it'll get this water circulating, and it'll clear it up by tomorrow, or should, and we should be good to go with a fresh tank to put some fish in, or whatever aquatic inhabitant that you choose. You dig? All right, so we'll go ahead and stick that here. My assistant coach is calling me, so probably asking me if I'm taking the bus or driving. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my air pump, and let's watch the magic happen. Uh-oh. And voila, we have our sponge filter filtering, and we've just set up our next tank for the students' enjoyment. All right, y'all. I appreciate it, but this is what it's looking like right now. And we'll go from there. All right. That's 20 minutes. It's 3:07. I got to get out of here. And appreciate you guys. Peace.